As 2024 draws to a close, I thought I'd show you my most comfortable boots bought in 2024. I bought 22 pairs in 2024, so it took a while to choose my short list of comfy boots and come up with my top 3. Here they are. How you going? Welcome back to Bootlosophy, and my name is Take. I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands I film on, the Whadjuk people. So in this video, I'm going to pick my top 3 most comfortable boots that I bought in 2024. During this year, I bought 22 pairs of boots. Not all new brands and not all brand new. Some I bought secondhand. So running through them in chronological order, and I'll flash up the pictures of them here. I bought in January 24 a pair of Christian Daniel Larry boots, a pair of new old stock R.M. Williams Urban turnouts in distressed mustard, and a pair of new old stock Comfort turnouts in Warwick yearling. See here for the review up there. And a pair of long sought after Parker's Allen boots in natural Dublin. In February, I got a pair of Cordoba's cap toe boots in natural veg tan rough out, a Parker's Allen Portuguese development stitch down model in Tempesti veg tan, and a Parker's Delaware in Mariam horsebutt. Also in February, I bought 2 pairs of pre-loved Alden Indies, a Colour 8 shell cordovan and Alden 405 in the original Indie pumpkin calf skin. In April, I got a Devier Nomad Gen 2 mock toe and a pair of Jim Green Numzan boots. In May, I got a pair of Chisos No. 1s, a pair of Cordoba's Engineer boots, my first pair of Engineers by the way, and a Mongrel K9 Chelsea boot. I also got myself a pair of new old stock R.M. Williams Macquarie Chelsea boots in black suede. In June, it was a Parker's frenzy. 3 pairs of Allen stitch downs in wax flesh, in Inferno Rambler, and in stone wax Mohawk, as well as a pair of Delaware boots in Prairie Waxy Commander. And June was a big month. I also got my first pair of proper moccasin construction boots, the Russell Moccasin Backcountry. And then came my collaboration with Fortis from Indonesia, the Legolas. That's my whole cut Oxford lacing dress boot design. I had a bit of a rest in July, but in August I followed up the Backcountry, because I love them so much, with the Russell Moccasin Zephyr, which I reviewed up in the corner up there. I also got a pair of Craft and Glory hike boots. Now, since then, I've been awaiting a couple of pairs, but as they haven't arrived yet, I guess I'm going to count them as 2025 boots. Before I go on, I'm going to define what I look for in comfort. But before I do that, if you like this video, don't forget to click on the like and subscribe buttons down below and hit that notification bell too. And if you really want to help out my channel, I've put some affiliate links to some of these boots in this video down in the description area below, and also links to some of my reviews. So if you're going to actually buy any pairs of boots that you see that you might like, please use the link, as I'll get a small commission, 5 or 6%, that will help me with my costs. Moving on, what do I look for in comfort? Well, firstly, I'm looking for boots in the correct size. And with the different ways boot brands size their boots, that is not easy online. In the US, most brands size their boots large, meaning that in most heritage brands, you should take a half size down from your proper Brannock size, or probably a full size down even from your sneaker size. That means that as I measure US 8.5 in D width going on E, I usually buy US heritage boots in an 8D. In Australia and the UK and Europe, boot brands generally size their boots true to size. A US 8.5 on the Brannock device converts to a UK 7.5, so when I buy UK or Australian or even Canadian brands like Viberg, I don't size a half down, I buy a 7.5. But that's not all. I found out recently through a bespoke process, which I'll bring out a video on it next year, the ball of my foot, measured in 3 dimensions as opposed to just flat 2 dimensions across the width, is almost 2 centimeters bigger than what's expected on my length and linear width. That explains why for slim lasted boots like R.M. Williams' Craftsman boots, I actually size up from a 7.5 to a UK 8. The second thing that dictates comfort for me is the way the heel and toe box fit. The heel waist and ball need to be snug like the proverbial firm handshake. But for me, I avoid squeezed toes, which can happen if the toe box is too pointy. But the last seals the deal, because on some pointy toe lasts, the angle at which the toe comes to the point is stretched out over a longer length. If you draw the outline of a boot by tracing around a boot that you have, and then you put your feet on the drawing, you find that the border of what you drew should be outside your feet. If you draw a pointy toe boot outline and you put your feet in it and you find that your toes actually sit outside of the lines, it's too pointy and not well designed. I also look for arch support. Nothing too aggressive. That's created either by the last tucking in the uppers under the arch or by building up the insole and the shank structure. And then I look for shock absorption. That's why I don't rule out boots with poron, quite frankly, like Thursday Boots and the R.M. Williams comfort lines, not the classic. Yeah, they're not all leather, but they are comfortable, so too bad. I prefer not to mash my feet. That being said, some good firm outsoles and insole combinations are also comfortable depending on the leather and the cork used and what you walk on. Then the outsole comes into play. Boots that have a firm rubber composition on, say, a really hard Commando lug sole can be good for outdoorsy, wet and soft surfaces. But on concrete or carpet, leather outsoles, softer rubber and wedge soles are much better. Finally, I look for supple leathers used for the uppers. It can take firmer leathers, harder to break in around the shaft and the collar, as well as on the forefoot where you bend your toes as you walk. In itself, that eventually means a firmer support, frankly. But if you can get good support around the ankle and not have the collar dig into your ankle for the first 2 or 3 months, well, so much the better, right? So what are my most comfy boots bought in 2024? First, my shortlist in the order I bought them in. The first is the Cordobes cap toe boot that I got in February. This is a pair of that's sized in 8.5 in D width, so it's true to size. And the sizing fit is really great. The last is slim enough to provide that snug, firm handshake fit, but with a rounded enough toe box not to squeeze my toes. Possibly the heel is a little too loose, but the rubber outsole is soft and flexible, and the lower heel seems to provide a comfortable stance all day. The Mexican veg-tanned rough out uppers is super soft and supple, and now they honestly feel like a glove. Next, also bought in February, my Alden 405 Indies, bought from my friend Eli, who is the Heritage Tribute on Instagram. Go check him out because he has an amazing collection and it's actually getting bigger. I got these along with a shell cordovan pair, also from Eli, and I reviewed those up here. I chose these for comfort instead of shell cordovan pair because, shoot me, I'm drifting from the gospel. I find the shell stiff. Not uncomfortable, but it's stiffer than this pair. Why do I find this comfy? Well, the True Balance combination lasts for one. It's narrow in the heel, wide at the ball of the feet, and then has almost miraculous cantilever design where the uppers leather is built to tuck in under your arch to support it from the structure of the uppers alone before the insole and the shank get to work. The flat rubber and cork composition outsole is also surprisingly comfortable for shock absorption and grippy. The third pair is the Mongrel K9, bought in May as well. Yeah, it's horses for courses, right? But if my course during any given day is to slip on a boot and kick it off from time to time, yet be in a boot that's water resistant and grippy and is soft and squishy, both under the feet and around the feet, this is it. It's a casual version of the traditional Aussie Chelsea work boot, like a Blundstone or a Redback, or even Mongrel make work boots as well. But Mongrel have slimmed down the last and the volume to allow this to be both an outdoors in the rain boot, as well as a casual boot and standing at the bar. The TPU and PU combination heat sealed outsole gives it stability from the firmer layer outside and the comfortable squish on the base layer. Inside the boot, they give you a great molded multi-pressure foam insole that also has a little arch support molded into it. The uppers are not the best leather, but it is protective, yet supple enough to wrap comfortably around your feet. Then I chose the Russell Moccasin Backcountry acquired in June. If you've never put on a real moccasin construction boot, this will surprise you when you first put it on. Lasting the vamp from the bottom up just gives you a totally cradled experience, and not having a slab of leather as an insole, just a thick midsole and no welt, the feel of the ground this gives you is really amazing, incredible feedback. The fifth pair on my shortlist is this pair of Parkhurst stitched down Allen boots in Stead's stone waxed Mohawk, which I bought in June. To be honest, I could have picked any of the 618 lasted Portuguese-made stitched down Allens that I bought this year. But this one marginally pips the others at the post because I find these uppers more supple than the Horween Wax Flesh and the Charles F. Stead Inferno Rambler. Parker's really hit an excellent last for this model, which is another combination last that both grips your feet and yet gives them plenty of room in the pointier toe box. All right, now for my top 3 out of these. Drum roll, please. Starting at number 3, I chose the Parkhurst Stitched Down Allen built on their 618 last. I reviewed this pair up here. In terms of comfort, this boot fits my criteria in the sizing and fit category. In a size 8, the length is just right for me, leaving a good thumb's width in front of my toes to the end of the foot. And the last it's truly well designed for comfort. So let me go through it. The heel is a B or C width, I forget which, so locks your heel in place and avoids heel slip before and after breaking. The waist is narrow also, and this last is the closest I've come to the Alden True Balance last, where the inside of the uppers here tucks in under the arch and holds your arch in there. Then the last widens out to an E or even slightly more than an E width at the ball of the foot. So while the back end grips you, so you can't move around, there's a lot of room for your bones to settle and even swell out at the ball. As it narrows into the sharp almond-shaped toe box, the last elongates itself a bit so that the toes are never actually squeezed in, and the pointy-looking toe is actually an optical illusion. The only reason it sits at number 3, in my opinion, is that it's a ruggedly built boot, and with ruggedness comes a firmer insole, midsole and outsole construction. It has a very firm rubber lugged outsole, so shock absorption in casual urban use is pretty firm. So we go to number 2, which for me is the Alden 405. I don't care what people say, I still think this is an amazingly designed boot on a really great last. You'll find many copies or homages to this design, but what none of them get right is the comfort of the combination Alden True Balance last, which has a narrow heel and waist and a wide forefoot, which both grips your feet to avoid slippage and gives it room to move and be supported. The design of the waist under the arch is a miracle, as I said, because of the way that it tucks in under the arch and gives you an unaggressive arch support just from the uppers alone, not with anything that's built into the sole. That gentle arch support is also reinforced by the use of the Thomas heel, which extends further under the arch to prop that part of your feet up. Then the shock absorption. The Thomas heel rubber top lift is a medium density rubber. It does wear out faster than harder ones, but it is better for shock absorption. The much berated midsole, in my opinion, totally helps with a little squish within the leather layers. This Horween calfskin is also very supple and, well, it's going to get even better with time. A worthy number 2. So finally, my most comfortable boot in 2024. Again, I say horses for courses, and any one of these boots I've shown you could be your most comfortable boot depending on what you're using it for. But if I have to give a comfort award to any boot in general and in general use, and I consider a measure of comfort that's like, oh, I forgot I have these on my feet, then it's got to be the Russell Moccasin Backcountry. Yeah, I know it's US $700, but in my view, the materials, the handmade nature, the experience and practicality that goes into making this, and the comfort makes the value get up there and stay there in truth. As I said, the method of lasting the vamp from the bottom up means that your feet land on a double layer of supple uppers leather, like bedroom moccasin slippers. The protection is from a veg tan midsole, no thick insole that makes it too stiff, and the Vibram Rocher outsole. The feeling you get is not one of vulnerability, but more sensitivity. You feel your feet are not going to feel sharp rocks or penetrating sharp timber pieces that you step on. And yet, you can feel the unevenness of the terrain and what's under your feet so that you're actually more stable reacting to the direct input and feedback. This is a boot I can easily wear out hiking, out in the wild, or put my feet up on a lounge or propping up a bar by the fireplace, or even wear it to the office. You forget you have boots on. So the Backcountry, the Alden Indy, and the Parkhurst Stitch Down Allen, my 3 top comfy boots of 2024. I hope you enjoyed this look at the addition to my collection in 2024, and in a week or so I'll bring you my overall top boots for 2024. So click on the like button and make sure you're subscribed, and click on the bell button to notify you when my videos are released. Don't miss my remaining reviews for 2024. Until then, take care and see you back here soon.